the last time we spoke, you had granted me the right to go out there on November 8th, and I couldn't go out there because I can't get in contact with Tiffany, and she doesn't follow through with anything that the courts say.
Okay, sir, let me stop you. If the court orders you go out on a particular date, that's the date you go out. Okay? If you go out there and let's say she's got a lock on the building, then you cut the lock off and you go in and get your stuff. Okay?
Okay, I didn't understand that. I was supposed to go on the 8th, but I have no way to get in contact with her, and I didn't want to go out there because she's got a PPO, and all she's trying to do is get me arrested and convicted of hemmed up in some charges.
Okay.
Welcome back to Family Court Drama. In today's episode, we're delving into a heated divorce court hearing. The defendant has filed a motion asking the court to compel the plaintiff to allow him to retrieve his marital property from their former shared home. He claims the plaintiff has been blocking his attempts to collect his belongings and is now insisting the items are no longer there. The defendant suspects the plaintiff is trying to set him up to violate the existing protection order. On the other hand, the plaintiff argues that she already gave the defendant an opportunity to retrieve his belongings, but he failed to show up on the court-ordered date. She insists it's not her responsibility if he missed his chance. Let's see how the judge decides in this case.
Jane Osborne. Today is Monday, November 18, 2024 at 10:35 a.m.
Court will note that this matter is before the court on the defendant's motion to cease and desist return of marital property. In this matter, Mr. Osborne, you can proceed with your motion.
Well, Your Honor, thank you. I would just like to figure out how she's being able to take all our marital property and give it to other people, and I still haven't been able to get mine. It started off with the first time you granted me the motion in April, and Tiffany has changed the locks on the pole barn, and then I had 7 people with 7 trailers out there to try to get all my belongings, personal and business, and you granted me 4 hours. Well, I've got 38 years of stuff out there in the pole barn, and I have not still been able to get to it. 2 weeks later, after we found out that
let me ask you that. As the court set a date on March 23rd, why didn't you get it at that time?
I didn't get it that day because Tiffany had changed the locks on the pole barn and told me that they were the same. Well, I had arranged 7 people out there with 7 trailers to try to get as much as I could in a 4-hour period, but she changed the lock, so I was unable to do that.
Your Honor,
hold on, ma'am. I'm letting him talk. Don't interrupt.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so, well, if that's the case and you couldn't get in and get them, why did you wait now for basically, 8 months?
Well, I came back 2 weeks later to get the remains for my first time to go in there, and it had rained. Well, my property is on a hill and it sloped down, so I couldn't get half of my tools out there because the ground was wet. I didn't have concrete, so I got as much as I could, and then that was it. And then she told me that it was all gone after that. So the last time we spoke, you had granted me the right to go out there on November 8th, and I couldn't go out there because I can't get in contact with Tiffany, and she doesn't follow through with anything that the courts say.
Okay, sir, let me stop you. If the court orders you go out on a particular date, that's the date you go out. Okay? If you go out there and let's say she's got a lock on the building, then you cut the lock off and you go in and get your stuff. Okay?
Okay, I didn't understand that. I was supposed to go on the 8th, but I have no way to get in contact with her, and I didn't want to go out there because she's got a PPO, and all she's trying to do is get me arrested and convicted of hemmed up in some charges.
Okay, if you've got a court order saying you can go out there and pick something up on that date, that's going to supersede any PPO that might be in existence. So
I never got anything. Sorry, go ahead, Your Honor.
So all I'm saying is you got to comply with the orders, and if one party isn't complying, the other party still has to comply. And it says, okay, you're going out on a particular date. You go out on that date and you do what you have to do on that date. Okay. It's not a case where, okay, you go out on a date. Well, geez, I can't make it, or it's raining or it's snowing or whatever it is. So I couldn't do it. That's the date that you're supposed to go out. And if it doesn't work, then you come back in the court and say, Judge, I couldn't go out for this reason. I need another date, and the court can set another date at this point. But you just can't not comply with the order and then come in and complain that the other party didn't comply with the order because you
Well,
didn't either.
I understand, Your Honor. I didn't have any paperwork because we were supposed to, I guess at the end of the judgment, I was supposed to get some kind of paperwork that Tiffany was supposed to fill out stating that this is what you came up with. You told her that she needed to do it. I still haven't received that. So I really had no paperwork to do that.
Okay, let me, Ms. Osborne, what's your response?
Okay, he was a no-show. The barn was unlocked. He could have come and gotten his items, but he chose not to. That is not my fault. And what he's talking about, what happened in March, yes, I had it rekeyed, which I thought meant I had a duplicate to his key because I wasn't allowed out there. So I felt bad because he couldn't get in that weekend, and he arranged to come the following weekend, and he did. And he had several trailers take his things out, and I felt so bad about the first time he tried to retrieve his items that I let him in at least 10 times in that barn this summer, only to find out the last time that he was so comfortable coming and going, grabbing stuff from the barn, he put his own batteries in the keypad again. So I had to pluck the batteries out, lock it up, and then, every time he's contacted me, I've always let him come in and get his things, helmets, you name it. I mean, everything that's
Objection, Your Honor. That's not true.
Sir, don't interrupt her. I told her not to interrupt you.
So
sorry.
he has come and gone multiple times. And I also have a video of him coming here and loading things from the barn up when he thought I wasn't home. And that was when I was picking Paisley up from school. He didn't think I was at the house.
Okay. Well, obviously we want to get the things resolved as it relates. Let me ask, sir, are you able to get to the property on November 30th at 12 o'clock noon?
Yes, I should be able to.
Okay.
November 30th.
Yep. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Your Honor, may I tell you that I'm a little nervous about whatever's out there. He's going to sell. He's not paying his child support properly, and he has broken the PPO and gotten a hold of me on Thursday evening.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what happens is, again, either person, if either of you have sold marital property, you'll be accountable for that in the divorce action. So if, let's say, I don't know, let's say there was a table saw, and ma'am, if you sold that, you're going to be liable for the amount of the cost for that table saw, or vice versa. I didn't ask you about whether, I'm just telling you an example.
Okay.
If he did it, he's going to be responsible for the cost of that as well. So all I want to do is get the issues of personal property resolved if we can. So I'm going to order at this point, the last and final time, sir, on November 30, 2024 at 12 o'clock noon, you can get out to the property. I'll have ma'am make sure the property, the barn or whatever it is unlocked. If it's not unlocked, he has a right to break the lock off and get in there. And he can get all the personal property. Ma'am, if you want to get in and make an inventory first and take picture, you have a right to do that. But what happens, I want to make sure that gets resolved. And also, or the parties, you can't dispose of anything just because it's in your possession. It's still marital property, subject to division by the court. So that will be the order. Sir, you're going to have to do an order that's going to say order that you have access on the November 30th date at 12 o'clock noon to get in to get that personal property. And just do an order. You can submit under a 7-day notice of entry, and then you'll have the order this time when you go out there. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you too.
And that wraps up this case. The judge sided with the defendant, granting him one final opportunity to retrieve his personal belongings. A specific date has been scheduled, and the judge firmly warned the defendant that this will be his last chance to collect his items from the property. What do you think about this decision? Did the judge make the right call? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more family court drama.